I generally do my reviews without spoilers, but this one's going to be one with spoilers because this is going to be a free-flowing conversation. Hello and welcome to Nollywood Fellow channel where I talk Nollywood and today a bit of Nollywood as well. And this one's a special one because this one's an Indo-Nigerian collaboration. I'm going to be talking about Postcards, the latest series on Netflix. And because the series is an Indo-Niger collaboration, I thought even this review should be, which is why I have my favorite YouTube Nollywood critic with me. Please allow me to welcome Pearl Oshidu.
Hi, my darling good fellow. Thank you so much for inviting me to your channel. Thank you.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Yeah.
Me too. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. I'm delighted with you in person for the first time.
Yeah. It's nice. By the way, Pearl is a screenwriter and she's also an editor. So she actually knows her shit. She's not just someone with a mic and a phone in some corner of the world.
So, you know, shit too. You know, like you analyze movies beautifully for just, also an audience kind of not with too much in-depth writer, screenwriter, whatever knowledge. It's very valuable sometimes to just hear film critique from someone who is just like everyone else. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
I love your videos.
Thanks a lot. I think let's stop talking about ourselves and let's talk about Postcards because I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about, right?
Oh my God.
So, how did you like the series?
Oh, when I come into something, I just check my sort of attention span, see if I'm wanting to stick with it or if my attention keeps sliding. And I'm not going to lie to you, for the first after the first 15 minutes of maybe the first episode, I knew everything was setting up, but still, it wasn't really holding and grabbing my attention. So if that's any indication of what came after, I would say it was a pretty good one because let's just say I wanted to like this more than I did.
Oh, yeah, I kind of enjoyed it for some reason. Maybe because I went in with the expectations of Namaste Wahala, which is Hamisha Daryani's previous one. So, I'd say it was a huge step forward from that. And
I found a confession.
Yes.
I never saw Namaste Wahala, and I was hoping to see it before seeing Postcards. But I didn't. And so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because now I don't have any expectations, good or bad, coming into this. But on the other hand, it feels like it would have been valuable to see the filmmakers' first work and then probably be able to compare with this one. I don't know. But that's just me confessing that I did not see Namaste Wahala.
But if you had to see one, I would say film, one piece of content from the same director, I guess this is a better choice. So, let's talk about what worked for you in the film.
Okay. First of all, I just like that fusion because we've had Indians in Nigeria. I really don't know what the Nigerian population in India is like. I have no concept of that. But I know that from my childhood, we've always had Indians. I know that Nigerians are everywhere in the world. I just don't know by volume. But we have we went to school with Indians. My dad had Indian patients, and all our lives, my cousin, she's married to an Indian. So I've got little Indian nieces and a nephew. So it's just, very much, I would say Indians are very much a part of our culture. So it's good, that we're able to decide to do things like this. It's long overdue, I would say. So that's something I really like. Just this Bollywood-Nollywood collaboration, I think it's brilliant. So that's my first more general thing to say. And then for any specific thing, I would say this movie looks good. The tone of it, I quite liked it. Just the color, the mood of it, I liked it.
in terms of the visual.
How about you? You tell me, what did you like?
Well, so all right, I keep bringing up the comparison between last time, but I like the Bollywood-ness over here. So there was this sort of a dreamy, Bollywood-ness to it, and that was well done. So in Namaste Wala, the Bollywood-ness was a bit more. What's the word for it? Trying too hard. There was the song and dance sequence.
On the nose, like we want to show you it's Bollywood.
Yeah, so there was a song and dance sequence on the beach where they're running. That was cringe-worthy. Here it was more dreamy, was more seamless. And there's also this thing they did with the song where when there's an emotional moment. I mean, the movie, the series has this one song, and when there's an emotional moment, there's like the same song with in a sadder tone.
I know what you mean, Srijit. I'm trying to pronounce your name. Help me, Srijit.
That's actually good. Srijit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I heard that too.
I thought I'll never give out my name on the channel. Damn. It's okay. It's not like I'm hiding from the police. It's okay. Oh yeah, talking about things I like. All right, Hamisha Daryani is doing the Lord's job by making beautiful Nigerian women wear the sari, and she has made you wear the sari too now.
Well, you kind of make sense, but we said what we get. You said what you. Yeah, no, I hear you. I wish I will come to that. I wish there was more sari wearing in that place. I really wanted to see more color, but I do understand that they didn't have the kind of like big occasion like a wedding where you see people really like in the full cultural attire.
Yeah.
So I do understand that we had more like commonplace day-to-day clothing, but I would have liked to see more of the cultural.
I was actually hoping for like a final dance with everyone in good attire.
That's very Bollywood.
Yeah, that would have been good. I mean, maybe cut away and have it. If it doesn't merge into the story, it could have been a cutaway. That would have been epic.
Let me see. What else did I like? There was food. There were people eating, and that was nice. Although the more obvious food display was back in Nigeria at that opening sequence. That was the more obvious. I would have liked to see as obvious a display of Indian cuisine. I didn't.
Talking of food, one thing I liked is the series starts with Nigerian food and it ends with Indian food.
Yeah,
maybe there could have been more of a display of Indian food, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it could have been. I mean, there were just a few mentions here and there, like when he wants his housekeeper to make him a certain meal. And I think they mentioned biryani. I really would have liked to see a bit more. And I have an Indian friend here. And when we come to, actually, let me say the second thing I like, which is just that, I should call it the cultural narratives, the comparisons, the similarities and stuff like that. So there was just that scene, like when Tobi's character met those guys in the room that they had been scammed. The scam part is also very much a similarity. And then when the guy wanted to take him to eat, and Tobi said, wanted whatever his name was, said he wasn't hungry, and he said, no, you'll eat. And he took him. Oh my God, that triggered me because Nigeria is such a hospitality culture. India is also such a hospitality culture.
Yeah.
And then I have an Indian friend, and I had to call her to an actual conversation, and say, I need you to stop trying to feed me. Like, I'm an adult. If I say I don't want to eat, please don't try to force feed me. It triggered me. Like, she used to always want to give me food. If I came to her house and I didn't want, whether it was tea or roti or just whatever it is, she would actually get offended. And I had to tell her, look, half my life I'm fasting, or something. So, but that was funny to see because it just felt very familiar.
Also talking of that, what is akara? Because he sees what we call a vada, and he's like, akara, and he goes for it.
Is it really? Do you know?
I don't know what akara is, but because he
It's It's a bean cake. It's made by just basically peel beans, grind it, and then add condiments and fry it in oil. So it's crisp on the outside and then really soft and fluffy on the inside.
I guess it's very similar then, because this one is made with lentils and the same thing. It's deep fried, it's crunchy on the outside, and so
Yeah. I
absolutely.
was going to say, I know that it's Indian, it's definitely lentils. Yeah. Okay, what else did we like? You might possibly have more things that you like. I like the simplicity of just the relationships, I guess, the family with small drama in there.
While we're still at Tobi, I really liked that friendship he had with his Indian roommate, that short guy. That stood out, and that has very little screen time, but that stood out. I mean, because you in a new place, you have someone who is warm, and that goes a long way. Also, like
I agree.
also love the.
But do you
Sorry. Yes,
do you think that they could have done more with it though? Like, it kind of seemed forgotten.
Yes.
It looks like one of the things that was dropped. I would have liked to see relationships go the distance.
That fair enough. I guess that wasn't central to the plot, so I guess that was still okay. But I would have liked to see a lot more of it, because it was very warm. I would have liked to see more of it, but it's not something to complain about for me. But talking about friendships, the friendships were good. I also like Tobi and Ibrahim. Is that his name? Ibrahim Sulaiman. Or Sulaiman.
Yeah, his agent. Even.
Yeah. So that friendship was good. And
I think his name was Boromi. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I've also forgotten the character's name. Also the friendship of R&D and Rio Kapadia. I never knew his name before this. He's such a familiar face, and it's only now that I know.
Let me tell you, if I was going to pick one person to watch consistently in this show, it would be that guy. He got all the good lines. He had all the good dialogue. His character was brilliant. I loved that character. It was humorous. It was witty. It was also used to really good effect to bring out R&D's character, which is really what you do with like a secondary character. It wasn't just a prop. Through him, we learned, for instance, that R&D's character was very disciplined. But let's call him by name Olumide. That Olumide was very disciplined. He didn't drink. And also this guy knows his history. We also learned a bit about his career, what he does, or whatever. And the guy's an accountant. We learned just a number of things, and he was also very pivotal in the turning him around. He showed both his hard side and this character was used to show Olumide both his tough side, but also as effective in turning him around. Yes, so I really liked that relationship in both. I love the character and that relationship. Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. Another thing I liked, the chemistry. Having seen a lot of Nollywood, I can say that somehow Nigerians have better chemistry with Indians. So, Rahama, Rajneish, good pair. Tobi and that chick also made a really good pair. So, I like that. So
you would say that that wasn't also critical to the story, so it was okay that they just dropped it. But let me tell you what I would have liked. I would have liked if, like, that guy that got fired, I wish they had found a way to bring that person around, and make that into a sweet story, and they could all have been friends instead of, and I don't know if we'll get there, but I also have my criticism of that storyline. I don't think that the guy should have been fired and Tobi left behind, because the sign of an adult is you shouldn't ever resort to punches when you're verbally whatever the guy did, it was verbal, it wasn't so not only not fire him but go ahead to even reward him with a new contract and all of that. I thought that was an Indian filmmaker basically placating, or what's the word I would use there? It didn't feel good to me, to excuse his behavior, because that character really does have anger issues, punching, just always ready to fight, ready to be triggered. We saw a bit of that again, even with the mom and all of that. So I wasn't crazy about that. I wish that story hadn't gone like that. I'm okay with him getting fired if they were both fired. There was no reason why he should be fired. And the person who got into an actual physical, whatever, I needed. Yeah, I'm Nigerian and I don't want that narrative, because also the go-between guy who's kind of like the dance studio agent, manager, whoever, he said, now I'm happy that this brought out the real you, that feisty Nigerian, something like that. I was like, that's not the real. What are you saying? That you're saying that the brothers, the ruffian, the fighter, the brawler, that's the real, authentic. I resented that, so I don't know.
That's a fair point, and that's why I wanted a Nigerian on this episode because I could only give a point of view. Yeah.
Your perspective is also like, I did get to listen to some of your thoughts in film club. Yeah. I really valued your perspective on, like, when you discussed the music, for instance, I didn't really pick up on the music. In fact, if anything, at some point I was like, I'm not so sure about this score. But when I heard you, I was like, I guess it makes sense the way you describe it. Maybe a place of familiarity.
I just loved the song. This one was right up there. This is like a new age Bollywood song, and it was a pretty good one. Even lyrically, it does justice to the whole theme of the.
You see, that's something that only you would know. Like, I wouldn't know what he was saying, right?
Yeah, but even if you let go of the lyrics, even musically, I loved the whole theme. The whole, it had this whole EDM or dance-ish thing going to it. And this is probably the first time I never skipped the intro for any episode. Because
indeed, but that was not because the intro wasn't good. I really did like the intro, but just because I was so behind and we had to do this. So can you believe that I finally finished the finale just about an hour before we started filming? So I was skipping, not because it wasn't good, but because I was so behind. Yeah, but that intro was good. I liked it. It was very whimsical as well.
True. Anyway, that.
So, what did you think of? Let me see. Just in general, what did you think of the characters in general?
Characters. Now we're going to things that weren't so good if we talk about the characters. So, let me put it this way: the character that was best developed was Olumide, but even with that, there's so much left to know. Like, and I'm talking about the best character. Like, how did he make it big? What does he do? Okay, they've shown him doing this real estate deal, but is he into real estate or is he?
That's what he does. I just concluded that that's what he does. Yeah, otherwise, why is he buying a house or whatever?
Yeah, so that's what even I thought, but somehow his room and his attire at the start made him look like a lawyer. I don't know. I mean, it was confusing for me. So that was there. There was a lot more to be desired in terms of the characters. And I think, Zainab as a character, there was quite a lot that was kind of, a lot of weird things, like she has a reason to suspect her husband, and the husband comes out with the colleague, and she
just goes, I missed it.
I was like, okay, what made you believe that he's not cheating on you? I don't know, that just didn't. Also, the point where Zainab finally meets Olumide and Auntie B, they did give an explanation to how they knew each other, but I don't know, I somehow couldn't grasp it. Me
too, because it sounded to me like they knew each other in Nigeria, right? That's how we started off sounding.
Yeah.
I kind of made my peace with that. But then the question I was asking myself was, how long has Olumide been in India? Because it feels like he has been in India for like 3 decades.
Yeah.
before, and how old is she? So how do they know each other? But because if she knows Auntie B, then she cannot also, it was hard for me to relate to how she simultaneously knows Olumide, and because Auntie B would be in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because Olumide has not even been talking to his sister, so it cannot be that Zainab met Auntie B with Olumide in India, and she has only been in India for like a couple years.
Yeah.
So how does she know both of them?
True.
It didn't make sense. And then he now said, I can't imagine what it must have been like for you to see, like, to not have been treated well by the only Nigerian here in India. And I'm like, okay, so she knew him here in India. And I'm like, I'm just confused. And then Zainab, I don't know what she did, because one of her arguments for being child free, of which, by the way, I am going to do a whole video on my own channel on that subject. But one of her reasons or arguments, not that she needs to give any, was she has to work, right? Like, who's going to resign? But then every time we saw her, she was at home cleaning.
Okay, in her defense, there's a shot where she's sketching some fashion, whatever, it was fashion sketches. So I don't know, maybe she was doing that from home.
If that does not need to be what I read. Sorry, I don't know. That whole thing was just so badly mismanaged.
Yes, I totally agree on that. I don't really like the way they were sort of shoving that message down our throats. I mean, it's okay for characters to be on either side, and also the reason Siddharth wanted a child was because Auntie B said that her son is whatever, and she was also lying all that while. And this guy got convinced that he wants to have a child, and this whole reason to have a child, to have someone to look after you when you're old, I think is okay. That's more of a personal thing. But yeah, on the whole, I didn't like that pushing narrative.
Yeah, it was just, and it's like, and the conclusion of it was very upsetting. That's one of the subjects that is so critical that if you're going to approach it, you have to be ready to handle it with care. And I don't think that care was done here. What did you think of the whole going to India for fibroids? And they couldn't even really, what did you think of that entire plot?
Okay, so for me, I could, all right, let me put it this way. One reason why I enjoyed the series is because I tried not to think too deep into a lot of it. So I did not think about the fibroid thing, and I'm like, okay, so the way I looked at it, okay, some medical treatment is needed. She's gone to India. I didn't even think about it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, in a way, I know that medical tourism is a big thing for Indians, so I don't mind that at all. It's our fault if we, don't have hospitals that function, and then we have to. I mean, even people all over the world, it's not just a Nigerian thing. That's fine, but you should have taken more care, I guess, in making it a more sort of complicated thing than just fibroids. But then they couldn't even seem to decide on what's the procedure. It was all very murky, the way it was discussed. They were just like, oh, you need to go to do further tests. I'm sorry, you're not going all the way to India for diagnostics. We even have good Indian hospitals in Nigeria. So first of all, at the diagnostic stage, at the very least, the Indian hospital will probably send you to their associate or something hospital in Nigeria. So at least even so that by the time you're getting to India, they kind of have your case file, and then they're like, okay, this is what we need to do. It's surgery. But for you to get to India and they're like, okay, we'll run some tests. That whole thing just sounded very brain dead. It didn't sound very smart. Like, they didn't seem like they were going to be bothered with any medical jargons or knowledge, or they just wanted to just give her an excuse to be in India, and also give Tobi. I mean, the coincidence, I didn't mind it too much that both of them just happened to be going to India.
Actually, Tobi going to India was a bigger bone of contention for me. I mean, for that dance, for a Nigerian to dance that way and be like,
put it
for
this
that.
way. I guess let me put it this way. Many of the people that, for instance, white people hype a lot, they're actually pretty mediocre, but because they're trying to sort of perform that sort of, how do I say, collaborate, whatever, so sometimes they're like overly impressed with something that we're looking at like, that's pretty standard. If that makes sense. Then this is a Bollywood movie. It's all about dancing. So
I somehow liked Tobi doing the Bollywood dance, even though the dance for which he was called did not seem good enough. Another thing is I have seen foreigners in Bollywood too, but it's never been just one foreigner. You'll have a few Africans, Brazilians, Russians. You'll have all of that. It's just, I don't know. And just one guy being called to be a background dancer all the way. You sure?
Yeah. One thing I liked about the dance though was he did put in some Nigerian-ness. Did you notice? Like there were times when he would do like shaku shaku or whatever. He did put in a few steps that were distinctly, but it didn't look like he had planned those steps with the other people. It just looked like he was throwing in his own thing whenever. It was funny. And also, I didn't know what they were dancing for. Were they dancing for a music video? Were they dancing as part of a movie? I wasn't really sure what they were dancing towards.
Yeah. That wasn't established yet, but
like I felt like there were just a lot of things like plot points just dropped and forgotten about in that way. What did you think of the writing?
The writing was not something I'm crazy about. How do I put it? Most of the dialogues were redundant, but then I did like some of the dialogues too. Especially, when RMD is dying, when RMD changes, everyone's like, "Are you dying?" I kind of like that. Was kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the dialogue, but not that whole transition. That change was so funny and abrupt. But I like, the dialogue.
Yeah. Talking of dialogues, I think all the good dialogues went to the Indians, and I
agree.
One afterthought I do have is that there was this slight upselling of India and Indians.
Listen, in my script, I have PSA. Like in my notebook, let me see if I can. I literally have, maybe even at the very beginning, I really want to find where I wrote that, because I'm pretty sure I wrote that. There's somewhere where I said, oh, I don't know if you can see. I wrote Indian PSA. Like, I was like, what? This place is so beautiful. Somebody asked how one was supposed to be a funny, random, rhetorical question. Like, I hear in India, everywhere smells like curry. And she just went on to start talking about this place is so beautiful. I was like, Auntie, what did you see that was beautiful? Is it bridge? It was just,
I mean, I would have liked a little racism. Okay, don't take this clip and share it out of context.
Go on, man.
Yeah, I feel, there should have been a better balancing. The maximum there was a bully saying third world country, and he didn't, and even he didn't really get into the character of someone, but they would have gone ahead and spoken a lot more shit.
But if we're talking racism, you know that Tobi also had his own microaggressive moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he first those guys saw him sleeping and he got up, and then he was trying to do the way when white people are confused that we speak English and they're trying to talk. So, girl, what I meant to tell you, and I'm like, you don't have to talk like that, right? Like, I literally, I teach English here in the US, so please. So, so he was doing that. He was actually like, and they're like, dude, we all speak English. We all have the same colonizer. And I thought, so that was him having a microaggressive moment. So, if anything, throughout the series, I think the person who was overtly racist was him. The other guy was just an unpleasant person, and they did establish that he's usually upset whenever there's a new person on the block, and he feels he gets competitive. Yes, so it wasn't even specific to Tobi that we would say, oh, he was racist. He might have relied on a racist trope to insult him, but it doesn't mean that his feelings were born out of racism, because it seems like they were born more out of him feeling threatened whenever there's a new kid on the block. What did you think of how that storyline resolved with the woman from his long? I wasn't happy. You tell me, how did you think of?
Well, here's one thing. I really enjoyed the heartbreak part. I felt that that moment was really nice. But all in all, I wasn't. I also like that symbolism with that broken Taj Mahal and everything. That was also nice. But all in all, there was a lot more to be desired. Also the young Rekha annoyed me. Even though as a silhouette, she annoyed me. Like, didn't even see her dialogues annoyed.
He had usually on her.
No.
Even the young Olumide annoyed me. And then that voice, taking his old voice and putting it on that younger person was even more upsetting.
Yeah.
But let me tell you my real grouse with that story. First of all, I think that if they wanted to go deeper and the filmmaking was better, I wouldn't have minded each episode being a little longer to go a bit deeper with each of the storylines, right? It's just like, before anything really happens, the episode is over. Not that I wanted more because nothing was really happening, but if, they were going to execute things properly, I wouldn't have minded even 10 minutes more per episode. So what I would have liked to see for that storyline was when he found out that his lost love was now, she has Alzheimer's, and then the daughter was accommodating enough to say, maybe you knew her, she doesn't know you anymore. And then they're here, and it sounds like the daughter is the main caregiver. I don't know, it was kind of like a notebook moment where he would re-enter their lives in a sacrificial way. Like, you don't know me, but I still know you, and I will take care of you whether or not you recognize me. That just feels very like, if you're going to mourn a loss, I mean, maybe that's just me being like super romantic, like I love you to death, literally, and you have Alzheimer's and this is like at the end. It just felt like once he found out that she had lost her memory, it was like, okay, I guess I'm free. If anything, I'm glad I didn't end up with you, because now I would have had to be stuck with someone with Alzheimer's. And you know what I mean? Like, I honestly, and I'm doing a story with somebody with Alzheimer's. I'm going to be a very, let me know. But I am working on a script about somebody who's, in that situation, and it's a love story. So I guess that's me, just thinking of what that feels like to take care of someone. And if it's someone that has been lost to you, what's more sacrificial than taking care of someone who really does not even know you anymore, but I don't know.
Yeah, that point of view did not cross my mind at all. But that's a nice perspective. Okay, she's got Alzheimer's. No, let's talk performances. One thing I liked is we got to see Sola and Tobi in a different light. I did like that Tobi had his vulnerable moments, which is quite a contrast from the guy who shot O.C. Occasion in Brotherhood. Yeah, I quite like that. And Sola looked amazing in a sari. Yeah.
Yeah, but in general, this series had like some of the worst performances I've ever seen of these actors that we love. RMD looked like Polydima from the Black Book.
Yes.
Just the same courage, the same darkness, the same somberness and tragic figureness of it all. He looked exactly that. Sobowale, her character was not consistent enough for me to even pin, but her performances were just unhinged a little bit. When she went crazy on hearing that she needed surgery, I was like, this is too much. What is this about? You know? I think somebody reminded her that this is Bollywood-Nollywood and there's supposed to be a lot of melodrama in there somewhere. And I don't even know about Tobi. I didn't care about his character at all. It had no depth. It had no complexity. It was just, I don't know, it just was so flat that I didn't care about that character at all. Isime had no business in India at all. And then she wore Bahama's outfit to India. It was beautiful. But India is hot, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought the whole character was pointless. I didn't know why it was there. And it's not like, okay, she's a friend and Rahama has someone to talk to, but even nothing comes out in those conversations that doesn't come out otherwise, you know? So I don't know, it was...
Because the conversation that Zainab was having with Auntie Bumi, it felt like that was the conversation she should probably have been having with. And I was looking forward to that dinner with three of them. That must have given us some drama. Instead, they turned it into a girls' afternoon out and went shopping, and it was kind of redundant, you know. But if she had come to the house and observed whatever was going on between them in that environment of him suddenly wanting a baby, then that would have probably given her character some purpose.
So while we're still at performances, I'd like to mention Rahama Sadau. She was good. Her Hindi was impressive, and it's not like she just learned the lines. She said those lines like she meant it, and she also looks very. I mean, she doesn't look non-Indian, is what I'd say. Like if I saw her on the street, unless she had an African hairdo, I wouldn't think she's not Indian. Like if I saw her on the streets over here. And she does look African too, but she's like the perfect intersection on the Venn diagram of African looks and Indian looks. So
yeah,
so she can.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, she's from the north, right? And they typically have, especially like the Fulanis, they have a different aesthetic. Let's put it that way. And she has more of that vibe. I did want to ask how close, probably a language she might speak, Arabic, how close that is to
Arabic is, all right, here's the thing. Arabic is pretty far from Hindi. So if we go, but there are a lot of similar words.
Our husband, the doctor, Sirak, his ice cream, like his absolutely. And then when I saw him eating with his left hand, I was like, oh, kill me now. He's also a southpaw. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, he's so dreamy. That's this doctor from Grey's Anatomy that they called Man Dreamy, whatever his name is. Whatever. That don't mind me. But yeah, he's dreamy. But the character really annoyed me.
Yeah, but as an actor, I must say he's done a good job. I really enjoyed his performance, and he was I've seen him a lot, but again, even with him, I don't remember where I've seen him before this. And this performance did stand out. He's definitely done a good job. Yeah, I guess we can move on to our concluding remarks. I guess we've spoken a lot.
I know. You're the one doing the editing. I feel sorry for you. Yeah, for once, I'm happy to not be on your seat. So, let me see. In conclusion, I'm going to say, would I recommend this? I'm not sure because, I mean, I don't know, right? There was not, it wasn't deep. Everything was just so surface that there's really nothing to recommend. It's just, yeah, you watch it, you kind of enjoy it. I was mildly entertained, But if I didn't have to discuss this with you, if I wasn't a Nollywood critic, and whatever, would I watch this beyond maybe the second episode? I'm not sure. I think I might have given up. The performance, no, it wasn't. Yeah, the dialogue is another thing I forgot to mention. I've never heard dialogue delivered this. I've never heard Sola Sobowale especially delivered. Saying that, I've never. Oh God. Am I frozen right now?
No, now you're good. Now you're good.
So once I start talking, I freeze.
Yeah, it's like the topic is jinxed or something. You're frozen again. Yes.
Okay. Sola Sobowale's dialogue was really, really bad. The delivery, I've never seen her deliver dialogue this badly. Tobi as well, but she especially. Generally listening to her most of the time felt almost like she was seeing the script just before they said roll camera action. It was just terrible, especially all the PSA bits, but just in general. Okay, no, you can go on to summarize.
Yeah, so, okay, talking about this movie. So, all right, there was this friend of mine who had what I would say crappy taste in films. And so I used to mock him a lot. Me and my friends, we used to mock him a lot. And there's this thing that he would say that if you want to look at reality, go look in a mirror. That's not what movies are for. So if that resonates with you to at least some extent, then maybe you'll enjoy this series. That's what I'd say. Again, would I recommend it? I'm not really sure because, like I said, if you just go with the ride, don't think too much into it. Yeah, they're transporting a patient for fibroid. They're choosing a dancer based on some half-baked or, not an improper dance sequence. Yeah, okay, let it be. If you're fine with that, then you can actually love the series as well. I did enjoy it. That's what I'd say. Okay, so that was the review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. Thanks a lot, Pearl. It was a real fun chat, and we should be doing this again.
Yeah, we should. I had so much fun discussing this with you, and I love just your insight on this, especially from the Bollywood and Indian side of things. It was absolutely lovely speaking with you. And please come to my channel soon. But thanks for asking me.
All right. Thank you, guys. That's it for this time. Please do leave comments. Do let us know what you thought. And, like, share, subscribe. I'll also be dropping the link to Pearl's channel. Do check out her reviews. They're incisive, detailed reviews. That's it for this time. Bye.
Bye.